Hey guys, Asus Zenfone here, and is this the best phone under $200? Well, find out in this full review of the Asus Zenfone 2. So this is the lower end version of the Asus Zenfone 2, but the only difference is the specs. The design remains entirely the same, so let's start off with the things I actually like about the design. So the back cover is plastic, but even though it is, I love the brushed metal look and feel it has, and it actually doesn't feel that cheap. The phone is not the thinnest at 10.9mm, but I actually like that the phone is pretty hefty and overall feels like a solid built phone. Another thing I like is how this has a 5.5 inch screen, but it's still a lot smaller than other 5.5 inch phones. So I like how Asus kept a big screen in a very compact body. So now let's move on to the things I don't like about the design. And the first thing I definitely have to say is that Asus put the power button in the worst imaginable spot, the top middle. Like, I don't know what they were thinking there, but this makes one-handed use on the phone pretty hard, and I have average sized hands and I always have to do some hand gymnastics to turn on the phone, but thankfully Asus has a double tap to wake feature, and that was definitely a lifesaver. Another thing is the volume button placement. I know that LG has the same thing, but I would much rather prefer the volume to be on the side of the phone, but overall this is a pretty well built phone with just the horrible button placement. So the Asus Zenfone 2 has a 1080p IPS display with a 401 ppi. It actually is a pretty nice display with some good viewing angles and colors. One feature I like about the display is you can change how warm and vivid the display is, and you can change it to suit your liking, which is really cool. But the thing about the display is that it doesn't get very bright, and it is pretty hard to see this display under direct sunlight. This is probably the least brightest display out of all the main budget phones out right now. So moving on to the speakers of the Asus Zenfone 2, there's not much to say about these speakers because, well, it's pretty average at best. It's back facing and it's not that loud. The Moto G and One Touch Auto 3 speakers just blow this one out of the water. So the Asus Zenfone 2 is packing a 13 megapixel camera with an 8 megapixel front facing camera, which are both actually not too bad. It is pretty close to the other budget phones out there, and if you want to see some footage and photos, I actually have made a dedicated camera test of this phone, and that link will be in the description below, or you can click the card above. So Asus has came up with this thing called Zen UI, and it is their skin that they put on top of Android Lollipop, and I gotta say it's not horrible, but I don't really like it, so the thing I recommend is to definitely download Google Launcher or Nova Launcher, whatever you prefer, to make it look stock. Still, this is a pretty light skin and you still get the Android Lollipop look and feel, and pretty much all the features you would expect. Now I saved the best for last, and that is performance. The number one feature of this phone is definitely the performance. This is still the low end version with a 1.8 GHz processor with 2 GB of RAM, but this thing still performs great with little lag or hiccups. It also handles games very well, and I am super impressed with the performance of this phone, especially for only $200. The higher end version with 4 GB of RAM is obviously going to have the better multitasking performance, but this still holds its own, and I can have many apps open at once without too much lag. Overall, this phone is great if performance is the most important thing you look for in a phone and you don't want to spend a huge amount of money. But if you want better design and software, then I would probably recommend the Moto G or Alcatel One Touch Auto 3. But that's basically it for this video, guys. Hope you enjoyed, and if you did, leave a like or comment down below. Also, make sure to follow me on social media at aofire_yt. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next review.